Good morning and welcome to the social listening segment of the BDTV Breakfast Show, where we analyze top trends across social media platforms. I am Norma Wona, and joining me in the studio this morning is Mr. Obidike Okafor, our in-house analyst. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Obidike.
Thank you for having me.
How has your day been going?
Well, apart from the rain, it's been fine.
Wow, the last time we spoke, it was virtually. What did you bring back for us from the abroad?
Abroad. Okay. I brought back myself.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing back yourself. Today, let's start off with the disturbing video in Lagos showing a female commercial driver crying out for justice after she was assaulted and beaten by a dog while trying to prevent the theft of her vehicle's battery. In the viral video circulating on Tuesday, the woman could be seen in tears, her face visibly swollen as she recounts how the thug boarded her vehicle under the guise of a passenger near the rental hotel, claiming he was heading to the Nigerian law school. According to the victim, she became suspicious when she caught a glimpse of him through her rearview mirror, allegedly attempting to remove her car battery. When she confronted him, he reportedly launched a violent attack, beating her, tearing her clothes, and physically dragging her in public. Let's see some of the tweets and the video as well. Oluwatosin Adeyemi says, "This is uncalled for. While I'm happy that women are now taking their place in terms of gender equality, this animalistic act of the thug will dampen the spirit of women who are seeking this opportunity." Mo says, "This is the fruit of entrenching thuggery in a society. The way everyone just walked past indicates that we have normalized such behaviors. We are now numb to such acts. Imagine an old man like this stealing battery in broad daylight. Imagine what he will do at night." And Mo 6 says, "The very foundation of Lagos is built on thugs. Thugs and cults threaten anything good in Lagos. I pray the lady gets justice." Flying Scholar also says, "This is deeply disturbing. I hope the state government takes action to stop these thugs from harassing drivers. It's even worse when the victim is a woman who may not have the strength to fight back." All right, we are going back to the studio. I would like to get your reaction from all of this. Mr. Obidike, what do you have to say on this particular matter?
Well, like you rightfully, like one of the people who tweeted rightfully said, we live in a society, especially in Lagos, thuggery is like, 5 and 6 with Lagos. You have thugs everywhere. You have people who, like when you drive a commercial vehicle in Lagos, you have people who, harass you, ask you for money. And then what makes it even a little bit more worrisome is when it's a woman, you expect that for nothing else. One, these so-called thugs have mothers who give birth to them. So I feel because of how dangerous this, being a commercial driver in Lagos is, I feel when you see female commercial drivers, the first thing you should do is to think of how to protect them, even as thugs, because it's easier for the thugs themselves to protect the female drivers than waiting for police or anything, because they know they will now be like, leave these ones alone, these are our drivers, don't touch them and all that. But when it's like a jungle out there and they just leave you to your own, whatever you face it by yourself, it becomes a problem. Like somebody noticed in the video, as the woman was, fighting for her livelihood from somebody who wanted to literally steal it away from her, people are just walking past because in their minds, all these thugs, all these people that just, because they put everybody in the same category. Anybody who is a commercial driver, people tend to look down on them, and it's wrong. People are just trying to make a living. So people, instead of doing
that, even without her being a commercial driver, speaking from the point of a woman, when you are faced with harassment, the way society just like ignores you, it's like, oh, maybe she's lying, or maybe let's see. Like, I've had a situation where someone had attacked me on the street, like just there, and people were just watching. And when, I had gotten out of the situation, everyone was just like, do you know him? Like, are you his friend? I'm like, why would my friend randomly attack me? You get? So for me, the point that I'm seeing it from is the fact that we do not have a culture where we look out for each other. We do not have that culture. And when people always say, oh, men are protectors, I don't like to, like, will I say, I don't like to go down that path, because when you are attacked, nobody comes for you.
Well, I tend to not totally agree with you, because I've seen situations. I've lived in Lagos like all my whole life, and I've seen different aspects. I've seen aspects of where the women defended themselves. I've seen where a commercial driver attacked a woman, and the woman super kicked him and like kicked him, and he passed out. I've seen situations where women were harassed, and not just women, but everybody around there came to her defense, and all those kind of things. And I've also seen situations where people were, a woman was being harassed and everything, and people just walked on by, because in their mind, it might be boyfriend and girlfriend. Because unfortunately, that is generally the silly mentality a lot of people have. When they see a man and a woman are fighting, they're always like, maybe it's husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend.
But even at that, in order to stop abuse, when someone is attacking someone, whether they are in a romantic relationship or whether they are not in, people should always try to
find out what the situation is.
Instead of just assuming. And okay, let's assume that okay, they're in a romantic relationship and someone is getting beaten up in that situation. We should not normalize it.
No, I agree. I think in other parts of Nigeria, I don't think it's as bad as it is in Lagos. I think people are, in other parts of Nigeria, people pay more attention to it. But Lagos is such a bustling place. People are always in a hurry. People are always late for something. So sometimes you just look and pass and all of that. But if you go to other places where life is a little bit slower, not as fast as Lagos, people tend to stop and try to that kind of, let's find out what the problem is. Let's do another one. I feel sorry for her. I really praise that. Honestly, she gets justice, because it's not fair. It's not fair on her. You don't know anything that happens to her affects the people who rely on her for their daily living. So.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next story. This time, the Abia State government has threatened to sack any school head or principal who sabotages its free education policy by charging illegal fees and levies. Commissioner of Information Prince Kano, while briefing newsmen, explained that education is free from primary to junior secondary 3 in all public schools across the state. He warned principals and heads of schools who superstitiously collect school fees and levies despite the state government's free education policy to brace up for heavy sanctions. Let's see what people are saying about this on Twitter. So Otuvu says, sack them immediately, Mr. Governor, because there are so many meaningful, educated graduates who's are way too ready to take upon these jobs and deliver them sincerely than these corrupt officials. One Phuket says, good development, but hope the governor will provide those little funds for maintenance and running of the school. Okay, Mr. BDK, I think the last time we spoke, we were also talking about Abia State. Just fun fact out there, I'm also from Abia State, and every time I hear like news from there, I feel extremely happy with the developments that are going on. But I want to get your reaction on this. Do you think it's a good development?
There was a time in one of the reasons why the Southwest, now I'm going from Southwest, one of the reasons why the Southwest has a high number of educated people was in the 60s and 70s. They gave free education, primary school, I think up to secondary school, I'm not too sure, but I know there was quite like free education and everything. And in recent times, some people want to try and see how free education, because education is key.
Exactly.
Education is how people get empowered. You need some level of education to be able to understand your world better. What the governor of Abia State is doing is laudable. Unfortunately, we live also in a country where people take advantages of things for their own selfish benefit. So I'm not surprised that this kind of thing is happening. One of the biggest places where corruption is at its highest, anywhere in Nigeria, state level, federal government level, is civil service. Civil service, I served in Kaduna. I can tell you for free, the local government that I was in, if you go to local government every day, you don't see anybody in any of the offices. Wow. Then on the day when they are supposed to pay salaries, then you just be seeing all the offices are all of a sudden they are all filled up with people and all of that. So it's a terrible thing, and it happens. I'm sorry, but for the governor, it's going to be an uphill task, because if he wants this thing to work, he might have to fire everybody or at least 90% of the people in Ministry of Education who manages it, because I can bet you that almost all of them, it's not their fault in a way, because that is how the system is. They came there and they met it like that, and they just continued. So first of all, the system needs to be really sanitized. Everybody, there needs to be a reorientation. They need to unlearn and relearn, because they've learned wrong things from the beginning and they can't help it. So no matter how much the governor screams and shouts and talks and everything, these things will still happen. They might catch one or two scapegoats and chase them away, but it will still happen. It's in the system.
This thing you just said now reminded me of one tweet I think I saw some months ago, where someone said that in order for Nigeria to move forward, unfortunately, some people have to die. Like, we have to kill off some people, and it is so sad, because this man is trying to provide free education, and then there are just a few people that are like, we're not going to allow these students to have the free education. I'm one of those that were privileged to attend like private schools, the top private schools back in Abia State, and you could see the clear difference between us and those who went to school. Like, we could be going to school, and those my peers will be going to school with like knives and holes in their backpack, and like when they arrive school, they are going straight to the farm. They are not learning like normal curriculum that every other person is learning to like attain the right skills that they're supposed to have. And on top of that, they are still paying, like they are paying some money to go to school. Yeah, so it's so sad. And now to see that things are trying to move forward, and there are a group of people that are like, okay, they're going to pull them back, it's such a sad thing. But I wish him well.
I wish him well
that this plan that he has will actually come into fruition, and it will not be ruined by some bad eggs. Do you have any other thing to say on this story?
I'll just say I wish the governor of Abia State has, I'm not giving him like 100% pass mark, but the man has been making efforts to try to improve the state, which is a good thing. But I can tell you that this free education thing and all these challenges he's facing, it's going to be an uphill task, but I hope he's capable and up to it.
Okay. Thank you so much for your insight, Mr. BDK. It's always a pleasure to have you.
It's always a pleasure to come.
So this is all we can take for today. Please stay tuned for more updates. I am Norma Obona. Until next time.